So in this video we're going to talk about asymmetric key encryption. Okay, so let's say Anne has messages and files and she wants to send them to Bob through Eve. So let's say that this is Anne and these are her files, and this is Eve, and here is Bob. Okay, so for Anne to send a message to Eve, we're going to use copy and paste, and for Eve to send a message to Bob, we're going to use KDE connect. Okay, but the problem is that Eve can see the messages, okay, and Anne wants to achieve confidentiality. Okay, so for asymmetric key encryption to work, we have to do two things, and we only have to do them once. So Bob has to generate a key pair, so a public and private key pair. And the second thing is that Anne must have Bob's public key, so Bob should send Anne his public key. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to use GPG, and we've covered key pair generation in another video, so I'm just going to follow the prompts. Okay. Okay, so Bob has generated a key pair. Okay, the next thing, Bob should, okay, that's fine. Bob should export his public key. So GPG -- export -a Bob test to Bob test .asc. So this is Bob's public key. Okay, and we're going to use KDE connect, and Eve we're going to give Anne the public key. Okay, so how can we be sure that Eve did not tamper with the public key? Maybe she replaced it with her own or something. We've covered that in the video about digital signatures. Okay, so we can assume that the public key has arrived to Anne safely. So now Anne should import Bob's public key. So GPG import Bob test public.asc, and that's done. So Eve, so Anne can now start sending encrypted messages to Bob using his public key. And to do that, so we can look at our cheat sheet. So GPG -- recipient and public key ID show. So we can do GPG -k to list the public keys that we have. So Anne has her own public key, and now she has Bob's public key. She has just imported it. So GPG -recipient, and then the ID, it can be this short fingerprint, or his name, or part of his name, or the email. So Bob test, and then encrypt, and then output, and then we can choose a name for the output file. So let's say we're going to encrypt the message, so encrypted message.txt, and then the input file, which is message.txt. Yes, so this is our encrypted message. Oh, and it's not a text file because we did not use the -8 flag, but that's fine. Okay, so this is our encrypted message, so we can send this message to Eve, and Eve should not be able to make anything out of it. And then Eve can send the message to Bob, and then Bob can decrypt the message. Okay, so for Bob to decrypt the message, he can do GPG -- decrypt -- output and then a name, so decrypted message text, and then the file itself, which is encrypted message text. Passphrase. Okay, so now Bob should use his secret key to decrypt the message. So for security, so that nobody uses your secret key without your permission, you have to enter your password. So password, and this is the decrypted message. Okay, so the next thing we can do is to ensure, so encryption ensures confidentiality. It does not really ensure integrity, so the files can be modified along the way and still the messages can be decrypted, but you can never be sure whether the file was modified or not. Okay, so to do that we can actually encrypt and sign the message at the same time. So I have so Anne has her key pair ready, and Bob has Anne's public key, so GPG-k. Bob has already imported Anne's public key. Okay, so let's do this. GPG, then we can use the -a to get a text file. So it doesn't really matter. This stands for ASCII armored, and it's going to encrypt the file in an ASCII version. So we actually can send files, encrypted files, over email. We don't have to attach the files as they are. Okay, so / recipient and his ID. Okay, so Bob test and encrypt and sign, and the output file can be encrypted and signed .text. So this should be a text file because it's ASCII armored. Okay, and then the file that we want to encrypt, which is message.text. Okay, so we have to enter the password. And this is our encrypted and signed message. Okay, so it's encrypted in ASCII armored format, so it's ASCII text, so we can actually copy this over Messenger if we want to. Okay, so for example, here's Eve. We can make a new text file. Okay, let's keep it as it is. Okay, let's rename it .text, and we can just paste the message, and Eve can directly send it to Bob. Okay, so here is the text file. So GPG-decrypt the text file, password, we get an automatic verification when we decrypt the file. So as if we have signed the file, so GPG automatically informs us that there is a signature and it's a good signature, or if it was bad, it's going to tell us, from Anne. Okay, so this is how to encrypt and sign a file. Okay, so one final thing to do is to so we've actually used so the signature is embedded in the file, so this modifies the file itself. Okay, So what if we want to encrypt an image? We don't want to modify the image itself, so we can use a detached signature, and then we can encrypt the file. Okay, so let's do that. So GPG -- detached sign, detach sign, okay, and then output, and then image signature .sig, and then the name of the input file, which is the image. So here is a signature. Okay, so this is the image file and this is the signature, and now we can encrypt the file. So GPG -a recipient, and then test, and then encrypt, and then output, and then encrypted image2.png, or well, it's not png, and then the name of the input file, which is the image. Here to open image.png, sorry. Okay, and we can send those two to Eve, and then Eve can send them to Bob. Of course, she cannot make anything out of the image, and even if she modifies the image somehow or the signature, Bob should be able to tell. Okay, so Bob received the encrypted image and the image signature. So the first thing Bob has to do is to decrypt the image. So GPG --decrypt. Then we should use the output parameter to specify a file name. So decrypted image.png, and then the input file is the encrypted image. Created, okay, no problem. Password, and this is the decrypted image. Okay. So to verify the file, we can do GPG --verify, and the signature file first, image signature.sig, then the encrypted image.png, and we get a good signature. Okay, so this method ensures confidentiality of the files, as well as the sender's authenticity, as well as the file's integrity altogether. Okay, so that's it for this video, and thanks for watching.